What's going on, guys? It's the Bigs Podcast, episode number 93, and welcome to the playoffs. We're finally here. Week 22 is upon us. We know who the Blessed Six are, and we know who's facing who in the first round. But before we do all of that, we are going to talk about the week that was in week 22. Starting it off tonight, joining us as well from Hillsdale, New Jersey, Mike Haber. Mike, staying up late with us, buddy. I appreciate you coming on board with us for just your matchup, but I appreciate you yet again.
Yeah, no, thank you guys for accommodating me again tonight. I'm so excited to, I couldn't turn down the opportunity to have all four of us together after the last week. So it's really exciting. It means a lot to me to be with all three of you here tonight. So ready to get this started.
Very excited to get this started as all hands are on deck this evening. Jason Ashby, Denver, Colorado. How are we feeling this evening, sir?
I'm feeling great, Joe. To echo what Mike just said, it's great to have us all here tonight. Talking about week 22, we finally know what the playoffs are looking like after weeks and weeks and weeks of uncertainty. We are here, and yeah, it was a wild ride, and I'm ready to break down how we got here.
And Jason actually gets to celebrate himself as the first ever Research League Gladiator champion. Thanks so much for participating there, guys. He beat Mike Haber in the finals. And I got to face Nick Homan for third place. So that was kind of fun. I
And
lost.
I'm going to hang on to that for a very long time.
Hell yeah, man. We can never take first ever away from you. That's the one thing about that. Really happy about that. Now, really happy about being in the playoffs after a stress filled week. My roommate, my best friend, a three-time Bigs champion, and our commissioner, Ben Nisman. Benny, are you feeling a bit better now than you were on Saturday when I saw you?
Well, I would say that elation would be an understatement right now, Joe. And to echo Mike's words, it's a privilege and a pleasure to be breaking this down with the three of you guys. It was, like Jason said, a wild 22 weeks, and it feels like it disappeared in the blink of an eye. And that's what happens when you're having fun. It just, the time moves quickly. And I believe that this is a season that we will never, ever forget. So I'm grateful to be here. And it's an honor, as always, to be amongst the top six. And it was a really, really incredible season. I cannot express any further gratitude than I have that I'm so grateful of everybody's participation this year. And everyone really showed how much the league means to them. And it was really, really special. So thank you so much to the three of you and to the other 12. You guys made the league incredible this year as they do every single year. Thank you so much. So there's not too many of these to go, so I'll say it now, and I get to say it maybe two more, three more times. Joe, please set the table. Lead us off, my friend.
Let's get going, boys. We are gonna first break down Mike Haber wrapping up the first place trophy in the regular season yet again. So is this back to back seasons with first place, Mike?
Um,
No,
no, I think it was
that
two
was
years ago I
21.
was in first. Yeah, in 21.
Yeah,
21.
21 and 23. That's pretty impressive. And 21's the year you went wire to wire in first place.
Mhm.
This one, a bit more of a dogfight, but you've certainly put it to bed here. 15-4 is the final. Jason, you've got the research on this one. What do we got?
Yeah, so coming in on Sunday, the only thing that changed, strikeouts by a batter. Those were tied, and Mike, you took that by not striking out as much as James did, which gives you you came in with a 14-4 lead, and you left with a 15-4 victory. Close categories, Mike, you won by two doubles, two homers, two RBIs, the one strikeout, one error, and three walks by a pitcher. McCloskey wins by the triple, three steals, and a homer allowed. And you guys tied in wins and losses, which I thought was fascinating.
Mhm.
Mike, sir, for your bench, you go 10 for 31.
Yucky.
Yeah.
That's am I guessing this one?
I mean, I gotta guess. You
Go ahead,
yeah.
Ben.
No, you
No,
sure
go
you don't
ahead.
want it?
Yeah, it's all you.
What do we say? 10 for 30, 31?
One, yeah.
What is it? 328.
Ooh. Anybody
It's
else?
got to be like right around there, 325.
I was going 329, but yeah.
It's 323.
Oh.
I feel like we're playing The Price is Right.
Yeah.
323, 6 runs, needed 2 of those to tie that category. 3 doubles, 3 homers, 7 RBIs, 4 steals, 8 strikeouts. The strikeouts, not getting those 8 strikeouts in was huge, because you only won it by 1. So that was tremendous. And interestingly enough, on Sunday you benched a win and a loss. So again, fascinating that you guys tied in that category, and had you played both of those, it would have changed things a little bit. So good job there. For your moves this week, you dropped Ezekiel Duran for Mickey Moniak, 1 for 4 with an RBI, a double, and a strikeout. Picked up Tyler Kinley for an inning, a save, and a relief appearance. Good job there.
Is that the new Colorado dude?
Yeah.
He's just like
Looking
on
like
your
it.
team because of course he is.
Well, Joey Lawrence has been shitting the bed, so
Joey Lawrence.
yeah.
And I even texted you. I was like, you just like picked up a save. Like, good job.
Yeah.
Drop Moniak for Ryan Pepio, 7 innings, a win, 3 strikeouts, nothing earned, a .14 whip against Miami, just 1 hit. Fantastic.
Fuck you, dude.
Joe's face, sorry.
Fuck you.
Pepio. Drop Matt Moore for Sam Hentges, third of an inning, a walk, a strikeout, and a relief appearance. You switched Jojo Romero and Josh Young on your IL spot, and you added Brian Shaw after the bell and dropped Hentges. 6 adds, 2 hitters, 1 starter, 3 relievers. Touching on your key players, we're going to talk about Marcus Semien as your MVP, 462 with a 500 on base, 8 runs, 2 doubles, 4 homers, 6 RBIs, a steal, 2 walks, and 2 strikeouts. The least valuable hitter, I'm giving to JP Crawford, a 150 with a 261, 2 runs, an RBI, 2 walks, and 6 strikeouts. On the pitching side, your Cy Young, I could give it to Verlander, I could give it to Pepio, but how about Ryan Fairbanks? 4 appearances, 4 innings, 3 saves, a walk, and 11 strikeouts. Like, that's all he did, was just strike people out.
That's 12 batters that he retired, and 11 of them were by strikeout. That is disgusting.
That's filthy.
Disgusting. Here I thought getting Andrew Kittredge would eat into that. I guess not.
Yeah. Nope. And your Cy Young, I mean, you pitched fantastic this week, so I guess Matt Moore with his 1080. Kyle Hendricks was meh. But I mean, it was really hard to find somebody who really shit the bed for you this week in your pitching staff.
I'm sorry. When did Michael Wacha show up on your team?
Today.
Cool.
Cool.
Yeah, there's that.
All right. Over to McCloskey's side.
Yes. On his bench, well, Mike, you went 10 for 31. He went 7 for 31.
Okay.
That's better.
Slightly.
Something looking at me, is that my cue? 7
Yeah.
for 31, is that what we said?
Yeah. I'm just
Uh,
thinking. 227.
Yeah, I'm sort of around that area too. 223.
Mike?
Sure, 231.
So 226.
Oh.
226.
All in the ballpark.
Yes. But you gotta be the closest without going over. And y'all went over. So
That's true.
3
Over
runs.
the fence.
3 runs, a double, 4 RBIs, needed 2 of those to tie the category, a steal, 2 walks, 12 strikeouts, and an error. Some pitching stats that didn't come back to haunt him this week. Just overall, just a good benching from McCloskey. He only used 4 ads this week. He dropped Daniel Bard and Akil Baddoo for Brian Wu, 5 innings, a loss, a homer, 3 walks, a 9, and a 140 against the Reds. And Rafael Montero, who gave him an inning, a win, a strikeout, and a relief appearance. He dropped Wu for Jose Buto, 6 1/3, a walk, 6 strikeouts, a 284, and a 111 against the Nets.
I remember that one. That was really good.
1-5 with 2 strikeouts.
That Buto start was really, really good.
Yeah. I mean, the Mets needed it. And not that they needed it, but it was nice to see.
Yeah.
Yes.
From a Mets fan. His key players. I'm giving the MVP to Nolan Jones. 261, a 320, 4 runs, 2 doubles, a triple, a homer, 5 RBIs, 2 steals, 2 walks, and 5 strikeouts. He kind of did a little bit of everything. And like, I knew this guy was coming up, and I knew he had power. I didn't realize he was a base stealer too. So that's an interesting thing to look out for next year.
280, 15, and 15?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
In 300 bats. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Pay
So-
attention to him for next year.
Absolutely. But you don't have to pay attention to Alec Bohm. Alec Bohm went 150 with a 190, 2 doubles, a walk, and 5 strikeouts. That's it.
Is he bad? Oh, he's got 86
Decent year.
RBIs.
Yeah.
He's having a
good.
decent year.
I was
Yeah.
just trying to make a good segue.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I got
it was
you.
good. It was good.
Yeah.
With
Uh,
him and a few other guys at third base, remember how we were talking about it as an exploding volcano? I feel like there are enough to go around.
Solid. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
solid position going into next year for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Brandon Woodruff was solid. 7 innings, a win, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts, nothing earned, an 057 whip as the Cy Young. And again, both of you pitched really well this week. So I guess Kenley Jansen is the only one that had even a double-digit ERA this week. He only pitched 1 inning, a loss, a homer, a walk, 18 and a 2 over 2 appearances. But both of you pitched really, really well this week.
Mike, you're the number 1 seed. Go ahead and take a moment to soak it all in. How's it feel once again to be back on top going into the playoffs?
Yeah, it's certainly exciting. It's a bit unexpected. I've been saying it for weeks that I feel confident that this is a playoff team. I didn't feel confident that it was like a number 1 seed first round bye team. But the past 2 weeks have built up my confidence a bit. Week 21 and 22, so I feel pretty strong. I'm actually a little disappointed that I kind of feel like that team that needs the momentum going forward, and I feel like I just watched Cedric Mullins hit a grand slam tonight, and I was like, he's gonna go like 0 for 30 next week. Like, of course he hits a grand slam tonight. But no, I feel good. I'm super excited to kind of take the week off and relax a little bit. It's a tough week for me personally. There's a lot of stuff going on here, so I can definitely use the week to relax a bit. But I can't wait for Final Four. Joe, I'm excited to see you there again in the final. Well, not see you, but see what's happening across the street in your Final Four matchup. And
I tell you what, I'll meet you in the finals. How does that sound?
okay,
All right.
all right, let's do it.
We'll see what happens. Benjamin, did you see
go ahead.
anything interesting here this week?
Well, besides seeing a complete schooling of a better manager across the board consistently for 7 days, we talked about how many stats were very close. The fact that Mike won by 2 doubles, 2 homers, 2 RBIs, 1 strikeout. Without giving too much away, Mike, was there acknowledgement to how close these were and how you had to delegate your decisions based on how tight they were going into Sunday?
Oh yeah, big time. McCloskey at this, I wasn't sure if he had like checked out. I don't think he did. Like he was making moves and he was adding players, but on Sunday I had the fear because innings were close, wins were close, strikeouts were close. Like I had Hendricks and Bybee that were just like ready to go. There were plenty of names still there, like probable pitchers, and then they started like going quickly to other teams. And I was like, I don't know if I'm playing these guys. Then I had to do the math and sort of weigh like should I be benching all my pitchers here? Because it's possible that one blow up and I've taken losses, and ERA and WHIP take a huge step back. So there were a lot of decisions going into it. I decided to play my bullpen only, and they had an incredible Sunday for me, which was huge. I needed some insurance with saves because he had a couple of guys that could have tied that category going into Sunday. I got that insurance, and offensively, I knew I was going to play everyone because everything was close. I played Brantley to avoid the error from getting in there. And I had a third base open spot because Polanco went on paternity, and the strikeouts were so close. I was like, I could add a third baseman here, but it was just safer to leave it blank with the errors category so close and with strikeouts so close. So there were a lot of decisions going into Sunday, but I feel really good about the outcome. It was scary. Like anything could have flipped on that last day, and it could have ended like 10-9, and I was watching Joe's matchup very carefully because if like one thing went in the wrong direction here, Joe could have taken that number one spot. So
Yeah. And you never know if you really want the number one or the number two,
true.
but I guess at the end it feels more comfortably up there just in case 6 beats 3. You're playing the weakest team out of all of them. So that's
Yeah.
a good situation. One statistic I want to throw at you guys, 8-13. That is 13 out of 16. That is Mike Haber's into the playoff percentage, the best ever in the bigs. That even includes Joe, who is 13 out of 19. So, Mike, what do you think, man? It's just been business as usual since you joined us. 08, obviously your first year, you just missed. I think you were in the 7th seed that year. And then from 2009 all the way up till 2017, that one was a missed year. And then 2020, whatever you want to make of that. But aside from that, it's been you in the playoffs, and that's been always the story. How do you feel?
Yeah, I'm definitely proud of it. There's a lot of hard work and stress and energy, and I know all of you can attest to that as well. And um, it really is so worth it. And even if you don't end up in the playoffs, like it's just so worth it because it's so much fun to compete at this level with these managers. And like, yeah, there is a sense of pride involved. But I still like 2017 was my year of humility. Like, and it reminds me that at any year you can end up in 16th place regardless of your previous history and previous success. So there's a lot of humility involved in this too, and there's a lot of sort of like the level of competition is so high that anything can happen at any moment. So I'm riding that peak while I can, but I know that the valleys exist, and my history in this league is peaks and valleys at the wrong time. So I'm trying to find the peaks at the right time here.
I'll tell you this much, Mike. I'm rooting for you. I'm rooting for a Haber to put a name on that trophy again. It's been a bit since we've seen it. It's been 11. This will be 11 years if it doesn't happen this year. So we're looking to get that name back on that trophy. I'm rooting for you, my friend.
Thank you. I appreciate it, even though it probably pains you to say that. And I don't know if you're lying, but I do appreciate the sentiment. I really do.
Well, I feel like it is at this point, for some people at least, a dream matchup to see Joe versus Mike in the final because we've never had that matchup. And I feel like the bigs, it gives way for that to happen, that the most skilled managers at some point should find themselves in the final. It just circumstances arise and it's the bigs, and that's why it hasn't. But both of you have had your share of finals. We know that. And I think it's only apropos that that might be the case here in 2023.
That would be a lot of fun. And playing either one of you two in the finals or playing my brother, all three of those scenarios presuppose a lot of history and a lot of excitement. So
I mean, a Haber final would be something to
Amazing.
watch.
Amazing. Yeah.
Bobby Russo is losing his mind right now. He's just he's like, come on, guys, give me some credit here.
I mean, I'd love to play
good.
Bobby.
I
I
want to
just
see who it is that goes deep out of the four that didn't get the bye. You know, I feel like it. I feel like it could be a me and Mike final, but whoever these final four members are will have earned it to this point. There is nobody who did not grind their ass to get this far. So credit to everybody who is along for this ride. It's going to be a wild and fun week this week. And then we get to the nitty gritty down to the final four next week. Mike.
Joe, can I ask you a question real quick?
Yeah, man, go ahead.
Who would you rather play next week?
Well, seeing as I'm going to face the highest seed, who do I want to face?
Who do you want to face, and then who do you think you're going to face?
Okay. So I'm on record saying that I think I'm going to face Josh.
Okay.
But I would love to see Bobby upset him and Ben upset Henry, and I get Ben I would get Ben in that scenario. Because there's no way you can play your brother in the semis. It has to be in the finals.
Right.
Because of the way the seeding lays out.
Right.
So I'm thinking I'm going to get Josh, and then we get the tease of that maybe being a thing 1 week later. But realistically, I want to face Ben. I think I'm a good matchup for Ben.
Okay. Cool.
Mike, thanks for being here, man. I appreciate you coming on and breaking this one down for us.
Yes. No, yeah. Thank you guys again for taking the time to break all this down and doing this every week. And I'm just grateful to be a part of it. And I can't wait for the excitement the next 3 weeks has to bring. And Jason, you got to defend that consolation title, my friend.
I tell you what, I sure am. I'm setting my lineup every day, and you know what? The consolation bracket exists for a reason. So that's all I gotta say.
What do you go for a three-peat, Jason?
Let's do it.
Wait, you won 2 years in a row?
I think so, man. Yeah.
I think that might be the case.
Oh my God.
And I know, all right, so now that we know that this is a thing, Frank Bugo is going to be coming for that thing.
Of course.
Yeah.
It is.
All right, fellas, thank you so much. Mike, I'm going to go ahead and pause here so we can jump back in the next one. All right, guys, we are back here, and we're going to cover both of my co-host matchups because they faced each other this week. Jason and Ben going to a 11-9 win in favor of Jason Ashby. Jason getting a win over Ben this week. On Sunday, Ben, you led by the triple. You were so happy when you got the triple, and then Jason got one on Sunday just to stick that one to you.
And it was a late pickup. It was the Hunter Goodman in the Rockies, and like Mike even texted me. He's like, "You got a triple." I was like, "What?"
Yeah, you got it in the final game of our regular season. How apropos that another Sunday triple is not just hit off me in the final game against Hunter Goodman, who I think is the local cantor here at Aberdeen Jewish Community Center.
I don't even know what a cantor is.
I had the good juju on my side.
There it is. There it is. Well, I don't also know who got the save for you, Benji. Oh, was that also the Sunday night game?
Yeah, it's final game.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was, because I watched you bench him, and then I watched you put him back into the lineup, and I went, he's gonna get the fucking save. I know it. And it was 6-3, and I was like, the Giants can't score one more goddamn run.
Yeah.
So those are the only two things that flipped, guys. That's the only thing that changed. It becomes 11-9. Benji, you win by 2 losses, the save, and 2 walks given up by a pitcher. Jason, you win by 2 ticks on the batting average, 2 wins, and 2 relief appearances. You guys tied in those triples. For Jason on your bench this week, sir, you went 3 for 17.
Oh, okay.
Jeez, that's amazing.
Yeah, I'm proud of that. I'll go 3 for 17. So 179.
Yeah, I was gonna go 182.
176 with 3 runs, a homer, an RBI, 2 steals, 2 walks, and 8 strikeouts. None of that plays. And the 3 hits, which I find most interesting, is all Jazz Chisholm on Tuesday. You mentioned him. He went 3 for 4 with a solo home run and a stolen base. Was there a reason for the benching there? Not that it mattered, but when batting
I think
average
he
is
was
that
facing
close.
I think he was facing a lefty that day. And it was a matchup thing.
The Dodgers, it was Kershaw. I remember
Yeah,
that.
yeah, it was Kershaw.
Yeah.
So I didn't like that matchup at all, and that's baseball.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you.
Yeah.
All
I
12
dealt
moves
with
this
that
week.
same thing, by the way. I benched Josh Bell and Arise against Kershaw, and the home run was hit. So.
Yeah.
Sometimes you think you know, and this game will you humble every single day. Jason, all 12 moves this week. You dropped Kevin Biggio for Chad Green with a clean inning and 2 strikeouts. Taylor Walls for Alejandro Kirk, 2 for 3, 2 doubles, 2 walks, and a run. Dropped Ryan Yarbrough for Keegan Thompson, 2 and a third, a homer, 3 walks, 2 strikeouts, a 7.71 and a 1.71 in a relief appearance. Dropped Alejandro Kirk for Johnny Burrito, 2 and a third, a loss, a walk, 3 strikeouts, a 3.86 and a 1.71 in a relief appearance. Dropped Chad Green for Jordan Jerry the King Lawler, 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts on the bench. He dropped Keegan Thompson for Giovanni Gallegos, an inning, a walk, 2 strikeouts, a 2 whip, and a relief appearance. You dropped Johnny Burrito for Shintaro Fujinami, an inning and 2/3, a win, a strikeout, and a relief appearance. You dropped Adam Duvall for Nelson Velasquez, 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. Dropped Jonathan Loizaga for Matt Moore, who did not appear. You dropped Jordan Jerry the King Lawler for Hunter Really Good Man, 1 for 4 with a run, a triple, the 2 RBIs that we mentioned earlier. You dropped Fujinami and Nelson, added Jonah Heim, who went 0 for 4 with a strikeout, and dropped Taiwan Walker. Your most valuable player this week is Julio Rodriguez, 250 with a 250, 7 runs, 5 bombs, 7 RBIs, and 7 strikeouts. The least valuable hitter, 1 final week. You held all season to Dalton Varsho. You son of a bitch. 154 with a 214, 2 runs, a double, a walk, and 5 strikeouts. So a 220, 16, and 15. That's what you got out of your catcher guy.
Yeah, and like even on Sunday, I spent probably a good 15, 20 minutes trying to figure out who I'm gonna drop to activate Kalenic and John Means, because I had them both stashed on the IL, and I knew I had to do that on Sunday, otherwise I would not have them for the consolation bracket that I'm going to win again. And I was very close to dumping Varsho, but I just knew that if I did that, he was going to end up on your team or on Bobby's team or somebody's team, and he was going to ride out this month on fire. And I didn't want to be that guy.
All right. He holds on to the guy. Jose Quintana is the Cy Young this week. 7 innings, a win, a walk, 4 strikeouts, a 1.29 and an 0.71. With a shout out to Framber, who had 4 walks, so a much higher whip, but a very similar line. The Cy Young, Jonathan Loizaga, but this is 1688 and 3 over 3 relief appearances. Yucky.
Yeah, I'm done with Yankees pitchers. That's it.
Benjamin, on your bench, sir, you went 11 for 49.
It's actually better than I thought. 11 for 49. Let's see. 11 for 44 would be 250. At like 221.
Jason?
I'll go 226.
You guys are right on the end. You guys just sandwiched this. It's 224, which is interesting because Ben, you hit 222 in the lineup, 224 on the bench. Like you guys were destined to hit this number.
And I hit
Jason had a 176. Like you guys weren't destined to hit very well this week.
Sure.
Yeah.
6 runs, 2 doubles, 2 homers, 6 RBIs, 4 walks, 10 strikeouts, and an error. None of it plays. Doesn't matter. Your moves this week. You dropped Tommy Canley for Edward Julian over 3 runs and 3 walks with a strikeout. It's a weird line. You dropped Julian for Aaron Bummer, an inning and a third, a strikeout, and a relief appearance. You dropped Colin McHugh for Sam Mole, an inning, 2 strikeouts, and a relief appearance. You dropped Bummer for Trevor Gott, 2/3 of an inning, a 3 whip, and a relief appearance. Dropped dropped Trevor Gott for Aaron Loop, an inning, an 18, a 3 whip, and a relief appearance. Dropped Sam Mole for Alex Vesia, an inning, 2/3, a win, a strikeout, and a relief appearance. Dropped Lance Lynn for Mike Ford, 1 for 3 with an RBI and a strikeout. Dropped Michael Waka for Luke Raley, 1 for 3 with a strikeout. Dropped Raley for Phil Maton, 2/3 of an inning, a strikeout, and a relief appearance. And dropped Vesia for Michael Tonkin after the bell. Benji, I'll pause here. Lynn and Waka come off the team here at the end of the season.
Look, at that moment, I knew that they weren't going to be pitching for the rest of the week. We'll get into it a little bit further, but I think we all know that after Wednesday, I was on the outside of the playoff picture looking in, and looking up rather, and I needed stats and I needed to chase down whatever I could. And it wasn't like the week prior playing Mike, where I really didn't have much to lose. Now I was in a situation in dire straits where I knew 4 teams would have to jump me, but I do know this league and I do know that anything could happen. And it was time to shed the weight of guys that were not going to help me in week 22. I can worry about week 23 if I get there, but those guys did not fit the picture for the rest of the week.
Mm-hmm. Your MVP this week.
May I, Joe? May I actually, if I could step in and do this, because I think I could do it the way that you possibly would.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll try to say it as if I was Joe.
Okay.
The MVP, we're going to give it to CJ. I single-handedly saved Benji's fantasy baseball season. Abrams, 5 for 10, 4 runs, a triple, a home run, 3 RBIs, 3 stolen bases, 4 walks, 2 strikeouts, a 500, and a 643 on base.
Yeah, he single-handedly saved your season with that triple, didn't he?
Yeah.
Well, no, I mean, I'm not that. I'm saying once I picked the guy up, he single-handedly saved my baseball season because of how many times he won me stolen bases since I had picked him up, Joe. And I feel like I picked him up around like week 12, week 13.
What the
something
hell did
like
he get
that.
40?
Yeah. I had him in the
This is a good player.
I had him in the Gladiator League, and I know exactly what you're talking about, and that's his asset is the speed.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like he's done other things. Like, yeah, the triple you see here, like his batting average is decent. Like his defense isn't good. But if you're gonna lose by 3 or 4 errors, who cares anyway? Like what he brings being a leadoff hitter, there hasn't been any guy more valuable in a clutch circumstance than this guy for me, unbelievably. And it was a decision that I had to make that wasn't easy when I was like, you know what, this Birdie Kike Hernandez thing, this platoon, it's just not going to work. It's fun and I like these players, but for the long run, like I need someone who's one going to be more reliable to be in the lineup every day and be like something that he actually brings to the table that the team doesn't have is speed. And I really didn't have anybody that comes close to that. And the fact that he's just another leadoff hitter for me and someone's going to have some kind of production in the Nationals lineup, this couldn't have worked out any better. So sure, the triple, like at that moment, I'm just like, oh my God, like what, like that was the most clutch swing I could have asked for in that moment, because the worst that can happen now, I'm pretty sure, is he could tie me in triples. That is Jason, which he did, or he would lose that category because of CJ Abrams. So I was just grateful for what he brought this week and the ones previous. I would not be in the playoffs without this guy.
By the way, so I'm looking. You picked him up on July 5th. Guess who dropped him before you picked him up?
Kostas?
This guy.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh, how
Interesting.
disappointing. 41 steals, a 250 batting average. Not a terrible strikeout rate either. 100 strikeouts and 488 bats. That's really good. It just he doesn't at all walk, which is fine. He's a young player. He'll get there. He'll get
Yeah.
Right.
there. Your least valuable hitter this week, Benjamin. We're going to talk about.
Is it I'm Nemo maybe?
I'm going Jeff McNeil.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, 111 with a 200, 2 runs, a steal, a walk, and 5 strikeouts. But really, just nothing this
yeah.
week.
No, and it's only when I bench him that he's hot. He hit a home run today. Like
Mhm.
he's 2 for 2 on my bench. And I was so tempted to play him, but the weather was so bad here, and I would just feel so stupid if like we ended up canceling the game and then I
Yeah.
don't have anyone to put in instead. So I played Nimmo. I didn't play McNeil. But yeah, McNeil's been a very, very frustrating player to own. And the reason why I still have him is because I'm gonna need an outfielder on Thursday and I'm hoping he finally brings it when I have him in the lineup. But you want to talk about a guy that's been on the verge of being dropped the entire season. It's been this guy more than any other player on the offense. But I love this team and they all got me to this point. So I got to thank him as well. He didn't do nothing to get me here.
Right. The Cy Young this week is a guy we've talked about many times. Merrill Kelly, 12 and 2/3, a win, 6 walks, 18 strikeouts, a 1.42 and a 1.11. And the Cy Young off the team, Lance Lynn and his 15.43 ERA and 2.25 WHIP. Gentlemen, this was yours. Talk about it. Jason, we'll start with you.
Look, as a feather in my cap that I beat Ben. It was definitely a dogfight, but like I said off air, like if I'm ever gonna face Ben, this is the time to do it. When it didn't matter for me, like I just kind of coasted and did what I played and I did the things I needed to do, but I didn't feel the stress or the burden, of having to save my season, which was kind of nice. That being said, of course, I wish I was in the playoff picture, but if I'm not going to be in the playoff picture, it was definitely, nice and comforting. But this was Ben, you're you. I mean, this is the kind of matchup that I would love to have against you when it mattered for me. Like, where we were close in a lot of things. We were back and forth. Average on base kept going back and forth. ERA and WHIP kept going back and forth all week long. It was so hard to try and keep track of who should I bench, who should I start. I just kind of went with it all.
Benji, Jason is saying essentially he enjoyed playing the spoiler role and almost ended your season. Had you on the outside looking in midweek. Let's hear about it, my friend.
Yeah, obviously this was really I didn't have fun this entire week. Like when we talk about fantasy baseball and how it's supposed to be fun, I actually didn't have fun the entire week until about Sunday afternoon where I was starting to come to terms with the fact that I did enough to get myself into the dance. And I felt like I played decently. Like with the Edward Julian, just to start off, it was a light day, but I didn't go too heavy on Monday. I just got the one guy. Okay, 0 for 3, 3 walks, 3 runs. That's good. And I felt like every ad I was making was hitting. Like any reliever I picked up, he was coming in on the day. Bummer, Vestia, Mole, and Gott. Like these guys were coming in on the day I picked them up. I get Maton, I get Graveman, I even get Bryce Wilson. I'm like, I think the trend is that they go 2 days in a row. Not only the day that I pick them up, they come in the following day because I leave them in there. Like I navigated my 12 ads and I only used 11 of them, but I felt like I was doing that as good to my ability as I could, and it wasn't going to matter because Jason was so ahead of the game. He was playing so much better than me at that point. And by the end, I was like, you know what? I know that I can't even necessarily chase down relief appearances. I can try, but that's not worth it at this point because I can lose that stat and still sneak into the playoffs. Let me see if I'll need my 11th and 12th ad for next week and let me use it for Monday. So I felt like I played it under the circumstances as good as I could. I obviously have to go back and think that there was a way to win batting average. Like with the fact that we went 224 to 222, 48 hits versus 46 hits, like one different guy would have taken that category, and then we're talking about a 10-10 tie. But I didn't care about the win so much. Like I walked out of 2021 season. I took a loss to end that year, before going into the playoffs. So it's really about what's happening going forward. My goal was getting at least 7 or 8 stats. I knew that that could do it. And here I am back for the third straight year. And I don't I don't take it for granted at all. Like I know just as much as a Bobby or a Josh Haber or even maybe a Henry that just because you're here now does not mean that you're going to be back next year or the year after. Like you have to cherish this because you never know when you're going to be back. And we can talk about several different managers in that way. Jason, you got in 2019. You won a playoff round. You went to the semifinals. And now, I mean, 2019 isn't that long ago, but the more years that go on without you getting into the playoffs, that 2019 year becomes more and more special for you because of, that it was you, breaking in and getting to the playoffs for the first time after that many years and winning a playoff round. So believe me when I tell you guys that this feels really, really special. And I'm I got to tell you that although Jason, who has given me a great deal of confidence through the season and has had expectations on me, which does add a little bit of pressure, but just saying, I believe in you to get to the playoffs. I believe in you to go on a deep run, and I appreciate it. And thank you so much for those words. But it almost felt like this week was a test against you. Like, can I prove to Jason that I can get to the playoffs? And if he stomps me out and knocks me out of the playoffs, will he think less of me as a manager? Will he think, this is not the Ben that I thought that he was? But at the end, I had to prove it to myself first before I prove it to my peers. And this has been a really, really crazy season as far as every week we're talking about how I left this on the bench or how it's house money now. 3 years in a row. If Henry moves on to the semifinal, he's a new manager, sure, but he's had an unbelievable year. I just wanted to be at the dance. I just wanted to be amongst the top six. And I felt like this was a year after all is said and done that I deserve to be in the top six. So I can rest my morals on that I'm here and I'm playing where 10 other guys aren't this week.
Hell yeah, Benji. That's what we are all here for, and you finally closed the deal, man. Congratulations to getting to the dance. Jason, you gave us a hell of a shot here. This was a scary, scary moment that Benji might fall from either the 3 or the 4 when the week started to all the way out of contention. Luckily enough, a game and a half is what separates you from or no, I'm sorry, 3 games from you to the 7 is how that finishes out with Bobby in the middle. Go figure. All right, let's move on to the next one. Jason, what do you got for our next matchup?
Let's talk about Henry Collins, the rookie, making it into the dance, taking a big 14-6 victory over Kostas to seal his spot in the playoffs. This was a fun one to watch because you didn't really know, if Kostas was gonna, try and also play that spoiler and kick. Everything was so close. Everything was so close going into the week. Like nothing was for granted, right? You just talked about it. But Henry comes in and just stomps it and says, "Nope, I am going into the playoffs." As the 4th seed, like how impressive has the season been?
Great rookie season. Great rookie season. And yeah, you're talking about it. He stamped his ticket to the playoffs right here.
Yeah.
I mean, Ben, we've talked about it in previous shows. He beat you, he beat me, he beat Mike Haber, now he beat Kostas. He's beaten a lot of other dudes along the way. Like, please don't think that those are the only wins he's had because they most certainly are not. But those are pretty impressive from a rookie who hasn't done this before this season. Like, let's give credit where it's due, Henry. You deserve every opportunity you got. Shut out Ari Nisman.
Yeah.
Shut out Ari Nisman this season. Yes. Belongs in, stamped his ticket, glad he's here.
On Sunday, Kostas led in triples and Henry tied that one up. Kostas led in strikeouts by a pitcher and Henry flipped that one around. That's all that changed on Sunday, but it was enough to steal that deal. For close categories, Henry wins by 3 steals, 2 walks, 2 saves, 3 relief appearances. Kostas wins by a double, 3 homers, and an error, and they tied in triples with 2. For Henry on his bench, he goes 16 for 45.
Man, that would have been
that was so close. 338.
342.
356.
Oh, it goes that
We
high.
were off on
Okay.
that.
Not great. 6 runs, 4 doubles, 2 homers, 5 RBIs, 5 walks, 5 strikeouts. The only thing that plays is the doubles. He needed one of them to tie that category up. There was a Jurickson Profar. Jurickson Profar got released by the Rockies, signed with the Padres, got called up, and went bananas on Saturday with a homer and a double, and 2 RBIs. And I don't know if I'm starting him either. The guy's been dog shit all year, but
yeah, that's not a great season.
No, especially playing in Colorado.
Yeah,
like you would get some more power out of that, but
doesn't strike out, but again, not a whole lot to write home about.
yeah. But he might get some run as their first baseman, so that's
Okay.
he's gonna get that eligibility too, which will be fascinating to watch in the playoffs. For his ads this week, he used 9 of them. He dropped Brandon Marsh for Dylan Floro, an inning, a strikeout, and a relief appearance. Dropped Donovan Solano for Miguel Castro, an inning, a strikeout, and a relief appearance. Dropped Bryce Wilson for Wandy Peralta, an inning and a third, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts, a 2.25 whip, and a relief appearance. Dropped Floro for Drew Smith, an inning, a walk, a 1 whip, and a relief appearance. Dropped Smith for Scott Magoo, an inning, a walk, a strikeout, a 1 whip, and a relief appearance. Dropped Wandy Peralta for Jake Berger, 0 for 3 with a strikeout and an error. Dropped Hunter Goodman for Young Gomes, 0 for 3. So both of those happened on the same day. So that's 0 for 6 with a strikeout and an error with those 2 ads. Yep. Dropped those 2 guys for Dylan Floro back again, an inning, 2 strikeouts and a relief appearance. Dropped Floro again for Gregory Santos on Sunday, an inning, a strikeout, and a relief appearance. 9 ads, 2 hitters, 7 relievers.
7 relief appearances off of free agency. He wins that category by 3. Well done.
Yep, absolutely. His key players, his MVP, I'm giving to his namesake Kyle Tucker, 300 average with a 462 on base, 7 runs, a double, 2 triples, 4 RBIs, 2 steals, 6 walks, and 3 strikeouts.
Those 2 triples were in the same game.
Yep, and that tied the category
on Sunday.
Yeah,
that's crazy. That's 2 triples Sunday to tie that category. Get the fuck out of here, Henry.
He's been doing it like clockwork, though.
I know.
Let me play Andres Jimenez because he's a speedier guy. Triple, like he's found it. He's found it through free agency. He's found it through his bench, and I'm going to go back as we go through this to find out what his record was in triples this year, but it's got to be over 500.
Mm-hmm.
The least valuable hitter I'm giving to DJ LeMahieu. Just a 158 with a 304 on base, an RBI, 4 walks, 2 strikeouts, and an error. The Cy Young is, of course, going to be Garrett Cole. 13 innings, a win, 16 strikeouts, and nice 069 and 085. And the Cy Young, again, his pitching was really good this week. Matt Strom stands out as a guy. 3 innings, a loss, a homer, a walk, 5 strikeouts, a 6, and a 167 in 3 appearances. But it's really hard to find somebody who was, not great. Zach Eflin, but yeah, it was just a good pitching week for Henry this week.
Garrett Cole
I've
going to win
got
the
the
Cy?
yeah, seems like it.
Yeah.
As far as Henry's record in triples, not as good as we would have thought. 7 wins, 9 losses, and 6 ties. It's not nearly the best in our league.
Yeah, but it's right around 500, which is where you want to be with stats like that.
Yeah. Agree. For Mr. Kostas on his bench, he goes 5 for 19.
Oh, god damn it.
Mhm.
Sorry.
278.
263.
Bingo.
Wow, that was ridiculous.
263, 7 runs, a double, 2 homers, 7 RBIs, a steal, a walk, 7 strikeouts, and 1 error. The only thing that plays is the error.
Yeah,
That's the only thing that plays.
very
Well done.
nice.
His moves this week. Well, he used all 12. He dropped Luis Severino for Leover Peguero. That guy.
Pittsburgh.
0 for 3 with a strikeout. Dropped Josh Seabours and Trevor Steffen for Lucas Sims, an inning, a third, and relief appearance. Dropped Casey Schmidt, Peguero, and Austin Cox. Picked up Jose Soriano, who did not come in. David Peterson, 6 innings, a loss, a walk, 8 strikeouts, a 450 and a 150 against the Twins. Dropped Jake Bird for Tyler Anderson, 8 innings, a win, 2 homers, a walk, 4 strikeouts, a 225 and 063 against the Guardians. And dropped Mackenzie Gore, who hit the IL. Then Sunday happened. He drops David Peterson for Peter Lambert, 5 innings, a loss, 3 homers, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts, a 1080 and a 2 in that night game against the Giants. Drops Jordan Weems for Brandon Pfaadt. More on that guy in a second. Drops Lucas Sims for Griffin Jacks, an inning, a loss, 2 strikeouts, an 18 and a 2 in a relief appearance. Drops Nolan Gorman for Jake Berger, 0 for 4. Drops Pfaadt the same day because I guess he learned that Pfaadt was going to be the bulk guy, not the starter.
I think he got scratched altogether.
Huh?
I feel like he got scratched altogether, didn't he?
No, he pitched. He pitched 6 innings, gave up 3 homers, a walk, 4 strikeouts, a 6 and 133 in a relief appearance. So he lost out on that, which I don't know that
better off.
Yeah, it probably worked out, but it was just wait, there's more. So he dropped that guy for Will Brennan, who was out of the lineup for the Reds or for the Guardians. Dropped Tyler Anderson for Brad Hand, 2/3 of an inning, a win, and a relief appearance. Then dropped Brennan for Leody Taveras, 1 for 4 with a run and a strikeout. Did I lose you?
That is a chaotic end of your week.
Yeah, and that's 2 losses, 1 by a reliever, and a win by a reliever, all on Sunday.
Wow. He was trying everything he could to get something here.
Yeah, he used 7 ads on Sunday. But 2 of them never
were like
saw
flipping out dudes. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, 12 ads altogether, 4 hitters, 3 starters, 4 relievers, and a bulk guy that didn't even show up. So
right.
Yeah, very interesting. For his MVP this week, Willie Castro, and I watched this guy play against the Mets, and he opened my eyes. Wow. 500 averages, a 542 on base, 7 runs, 2 doubles, a triple, a homer, 2 RBIs, 2 steals, 3 walks, 3 strikeouts, and an error. He literally got one of everything.
Beautiful.
The least valuable hitter is going to be JT Realmuto, a 190 with a 227, 2 runs, a homer, an RBI, a walk, and 5 strikeouts. The Cy Young, of course, who else but Zach Gallen, 9 innings, a win, a walk, 9 strikeouts. So a complete game shutout, which is an 0.44 whip. And the Cy Yucks, Seabours, Steffen, Bird, Weems, there's 2 guys here, Seabours and Trevor Steffen, each had ERAs over 67. So that's not good. Griffin Jacks wasn't good. So there was a lot to choose from there.
Yeah. I think the praise needs to be heaped on Henry yet again, that he really just put his stamp on the playoff picture. He was in that dogfight mix up, but he always felt like he was a team that was going to be there. Are you with me on that, Benji?
Yeah, like you said, he stamped his ticket with authority. It wasn't even, he didn't even make it a question. It just felt like halfway through the week, Kostas wasn't going to be able to compete. We saw that Kostas had less than 3 innings going into Friday, had a lot of catching up to do. And Henry was hitting, and he was doing what he usually does. And we talked about it. A win against you, a win against me, a win against Mike Haber, a win against Jason Ashby, and the his opening week against Josh Haber, and he dominated. This guy has had an incredible season, not to mention the second shutout ever and the best win of all time, 21-0 over the regular season. Might never ever happen again. I mean, this guy has had about as Cinderella of a season for a rookie we've basically ever seen. I mean, now for those that don't know this, 2009 was a rookie and he won the championship. 2010 was a rookie that won the championship. And 2011 was a rookie that didn't draft his team and won a championship. So 3 rookies in a year. I don't know if you remember this, Jason, but or Joe, but yeah, 3 rookies in a year won the championship in 2009, 2010, 2011. Those guys aren't even in the league anymore because they're firstly, the league was very different with us using making our ads the day before, and over time, you kind of could, I could at least see the amount of commitment from these guys, and I had to make decisions based on how I felt like the league was going to progress, and I didn't think that those guys were going to help the league progress. Either these were decisions made by myself, or sometimes even them that this really wasn't for them this year, and they didn't want to continue to participate. But there have been rookies that had a lot of success, but the best that we've the closest that we've seen to this was Jimmy Dunlap in 2019 because we had a good system. Yeah, it wasn't 12 and 42, but it was 37 innings and 13 ads. And this guy really jumped on the scene and did an incredible job. He just missed the playoffs in 19. He made it in 20. He just missed it in 21. He wins the whole damn thing in 2022 and he runs the table. So aside from that, Henry is on the precipice of it. Like if he could just go to the final four here, I mean, for as far as I'm concerned, Henry is playing with house money now. Maybe not until he got into the playoffs, but now that he's in the playoffs, whatever happens, it's been an awesome season, and he could say that he did something that other guys have not been able to say, and that's going to the playoffs and B going to the playoffs in your first year. Amazing season. I don't know what else to say except that if he takes me down in the first round here, I can't get that upset about it. I mean, this is one of my first best friends. We met in high school, freshman year homeroom with you, Joe, and it's been a long time coming till like we get to have this kind of community. I don't want to say fraternity, but like a community of us together doing something like this. And he's been perfect. Like he's a perfect guy for this league. And I'd love to see the deep run. I'd love to see him win a championship one day. Maybe it's this year. But you couldn't have asked for a better participant than this guy, a better competitor than this guy, a guy that is truly competitive and loves to win and hates to lose and knows that this is a skill game and that there's a lot of pride and honor in this as well. So happy for him. Congratulations, Henry. Obviously, I'm going to do what I can to win. I want to win, but if you win and you take me down, good for you. I'm going to be thrilled for you.
Off to a good start this week, Benjamin, as we see this this quarterfinal matchup begin to take place. Thanks for that. Jason, time to move on to the final one. What's it going to be for us?
Let's do that. Let's talk about also Josh stamping his ticket in with a big 15-5 triple up over Ari Nisman. And he sits on third place. Doesn't get that bye, but he made this week look really easy. And granted, it was Ari, so it wasn't, a super tough competitor, but he just made this week look easy. On Sunday, losses were tied, and Josh flipped that because Ari took a loss. It was Trevor Williams that lost that game. And that was the only thing that changed. That was the only thing that changed on Sunday. Close categories. Josh wins by 3 doubles, 3 steals, and that 1 loss. Ari wins by 2 wins and a save, and they tied in triples. That's it. For Josh on his bench, I'm not counting Sunday because Sunday he benched all of his hitters except for Jock Peterson and JD Davis, and he benched all of his pitchers except for Alexis Diaz. So I'm not counting Sunday. So not counting that, he went 7 for 11.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell that is. Do you, Joe?
oh, that's like 7
8. I was going to go even further than that. I was going to say like 742.
It's 636.
Yeah.
But it was all on Saturday. So 636 with 4 runs, 2 doubles, a homer, 4 RBIs, 2 steals, 3 walks, and a strikeout. None of it plays. None of it matters. Because he won everything except for errors. So he won everything. But Saturday was the big day. He went 4 for 6 on the bench on Saturday. So it was not great, but it didn't matter.
Yeah, that truly doesn't matter when it's that 636. That might be the highest number we've heard.
Probably.
Yeah, but it's 7 for 11. It's a pretty small sample size.
Exactly.
True.
Yeah.
Very true.
He did use all 12 ads. On Monday, he dropped Zach Thompson and Taj Bradley, picked up Austin Slater 0 for 3 with a strikeout, and Griffin Jacks an inning, a win, 2 strikeouts, a 1 whip, and a relief appearance. Then on Tuesday, he drops Ryan Walker and Austin Slater. He picks up Kike Hernandez 1 for 4 with 2 strikeouts, and Shintaro Fujinami an inning, a save, 2 strikeouts, and a relief appearance. So it's back-to-back days. He streams a win and a save from relievers.
Wow.
Well done. He drops Kike Hernandez for Christian Encarnacion Strand, 1 for 4 with an RBI and 2 strikeouts. Picks up Griffin Canning, 5 1/3, a loss, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts, a 506 and a 188 against Cleveland. He drops Jackson Fujinami for Shelby Miller, an inning, a strikeout, and a relief appearance, and Cal Quantrill, 6 innings, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts, nothing earned, an 083 against the Angels. Dropped Encarnacion Strand and Ryan Brazier for JD Davis, 2 for 3, a run, a double, an RBI, a walk, and a strikeout on the bench. And Jock Peterson, 1 for 4 with an RBI. On Sunday, he drops Quantrill and Kyle Harrison. He picks up Colin Holderman, who didn't come in, and Edward Julian, who was benched with 3 walks and a strikeout.
That dude can take a walk, huh?
Huh?
Yeah. That's what he does. There's a lot of 0 for 4 days though, because obviously, that's something that I've acknowledged. Like, he's the leadoff hitter on the Twins, and like he does draw walks, but I feel like it's a good day, and then it's like there's not really too many in betweens. Like it's just like a 0 for 5 out of the leadoff spot, and the rest of the team is hits. So he's a solid player, but I think he's got a lot of growing up to do.
They have been comparing like his pitch selection to that of Juan Soto. So
some praise. Wow.
Yeah.
That is some comparison. Okay.
Absolutely. For Josh's key players, MVP is Yordan Alvarez, 438 with a 640 on base. Speaking of being on base, 7 runs, a double, 3 homers, 7 RBIs, 9 walks, and a strikeout.
64% of the time.
Hitters, I'm splitting between Nick Castellanos and Ellie De La Cruz. That's what happened on Saturday. He couldn't figure out which one to get in. It was kind of back and forth all week with these two. Neither one of them were good when he played them, but they were good when he benched them. De La Cruz did have the 4 walks and the steal, which was nice. But he only hit 077. For his pitchers, the Cy Young is going to be Logan Webb, 12 2/3, a win, a loss, a homer, 2 walks, 8 strikeouts, a 213 and 079. And the Cy Young is going to be Carlos Rodon, who I know that this was the start that caused him to pick up Cal Quantrill and drop Fujinami because Carlos Rodon shit the bed with a 3 2/3, a loss, a homer, 4 strikeouts, a 17-18 and a 218 against the Tigers.
Is this guy cooked?
Man, I don't know.
Like, I don't think so. Like, I think he's gonna be.
The Yankees hope not.
He's going to be in a Yankees uniform for a long time. The question of whether or not he's going to be effective is really, really worrisome. Had a nice
Right.
start against Washington, had a good start in Tampa, had an okay start against Houston with a win. But there's some big, glaring hand grenades that he's let loose lately.
I don't,
I don't
I
know.
don't know if he's going to be, the two behind Cole, right? Like maybe he's a 3 or 4. Like,
Yeah, they're gonna have no. They got to reassess the rotation next year because just they're not gonna bring back Severino, and who knows with Domingo Herman what that situation is gonna be. And I think Montes is gonna be a free agent,
Mm-hmm. He's gone.
so yeah, it doesn't really leave them that. I mean, Clark Schmidt, I would say, has got to be a rotation piece. Maybe Burrito is in there as
Nestor.
well, but Nestor, yeah, I guess if he's healthy, but they're gonna need to get somebody. They're gonna
yeah,
probably be in the Yamamoto sweepstakes, maybe the Aaron Nola sweepstakes. I could see something like that, but
you got to think so.
Mm,
they gotta get somebody. Like they cannot, if they're trying to compete next year and not rebuild, they can't go to war with their current scenario.
good point. Good point.
Moving along to Ari, on his bench, I like this. He goes 1, 2, 3, 4. He goes 12 for 34.
Oh, I actually know this.
I do not. Um, 12 for 36, 33.
Is it
12 for 34,
321?
you say? No, it's higher than that.
It's 12 for
It's
34.
12 for, it's higher than that. It's 348.
It's higher than that. It's 353.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't know that.
uh, 9 runs. All of those would have tied the category, but whatever. 2 doubles, a triple, 3 homers, 7 RBIs, 6 walks, and 7 strikeouts. The triple comes on Sunday. It's Christopher Morel, who probably should have been started over Brandon Drury, I guess, because Morel did hit a triple and a homer. Oh well,
Yikes.
yeah.
Yikes.
He used one ad. It was on Thursday. He had Miguel Cabrera over 5, 3 strikeouts, and then dropped him the next day. That was
Well, you tried. You went with the legend, and he let you down.
yeah, yeah. That must have been frustrating. I just felt it. For his key players, there's only one because he hit under 200 this week. Teoscar Hernandez, 333 with a 400, 3 runs, a double, a homer, 2 RBIs, 2 walks, and 9 strikeouts. And then the least valuable hitter, I mean, is Ryan McMahon because he only hit 056 and a run and a double, 2 walks, and 6 strikeouts. But like everybody was bad on this team.
Yeah, I mean, a 125, a 143, a 158. Yeah, there was not a good hitter on this team, really.
Yeah. Uh, for the pitching, I guess the Cy Young goes to Jamison Taillon, 6 shutout innings, a walk, and 9 strikeouts, and 033 whip. And the Cy Young, I like. I want to give it to Lucas Giolito because I think this guy is just like he's become absolute garbage. 10 innings, 2 losses, 6 homers, 3 walks, 12 strikeouts, and 1170 to 140. But Hunter Brown was bad. Trevor Williams was bad. So pick your favorite.
This is another guy,
Yeah,
and I think he's about to be a free agent too.
yeah, he is.
That he is just absolutely pooping the bed on his contract,
Yeah.
and now he's on his third team this year.
Yeah. I just think it's funny how he always goes with Ronaldo Lopez. They travel together. They're a package deal.
Well, you know what they're calling those two and Matt Moore in
Hmm.
Cleveland now. I was watching the Cleveland broadcast the other night. You know what they're calling him? The Guardian Angels.
Oh, very
uh,
nice. Let me tell you something. Ronaldo Lopez, he's gonna have a special name in my heart, a special place in my heart forever. So yeah, he Ronaldo Lopez. I'm not really. I know that I'm not a 2019 champion without Ronaldo Lopez. So
Guys, the playoffs are here. We have 4 more matchups tomorrow to review, and then we're going to be really watching every single moment of every game for the next 3 weeks until we crown ourselves a champion. Holy shit. Benji, thanks for being here tonight with us, man.
Thank you very much for having me, Joe. As always, Jason, it was great to see you. It was nice to have Mike in here. And I just like to close out by bringing up something it's not the most pleasant discussion to have. So I felt it was probably better to say it at the end. As you can see, the shirt that I'm wearing, I found the one patriotic shirt that I actually have in my closet, and I felt that it was appropriate to wear it today because I think we all know where we were when the attacks happened on 9/11, and it was one of those days that I actually was in school, and I remember it just being kind of confusing. Like we weren't really sure what was going on at first, and then it went from confused to eerie to scary, and that we needed something to lift us up. And it was baseball that brought us back. And it was that memorable swing by Mike Piazza that was almost a glimmer of hope for us. And that unionized us, not just as a city, but as a nation, that we were all together. And I just wanted to bring it up because it's easy to gloss it over, but it's been 22 years, and I know I'll never forget, and that I'll always remember because it's a painful day, and it's something that when it happens every year, it's something that I think about a lot because it was something that we will always feel like affected us in some way or another. And I just wanted to share that with you guys. So thank you for listening.
Well
Thank you,
said.
Benji. Thank you. Very well said. Jason, thank you as well for being here tonight.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, and again, big shout out to Mike for being here. And this was guys, this was, we said it so many times, but just the absolute craziest season we've ever seen, or at least I've ever seen here in the Bigs. And I'm glad I was able to be a part of it and be able to break it down with you week by week with you guys every week. So thank you guys.
Thank you all for being here. Thank you all for listening, and thank you all for playing this game with us. We would not have a show, we would not have a league, and we certainly would not be sitting here talking on Zoom at 10:30 in the evening on a Monday night when the Jets are playing in the Meadowlands against whoever, whatever's got. No, we're here for this because we love it, because we love you guys. Thanks so much for being here. Until next time, guys, it's been real. It's been fun. It is always real fun in the Bigs. We'll see you next time.